with like hot, long summer days all year long. Hey guys, it's Amanda. As it's December, I thought it was the perfect time to talk about British and American winters. What are the differences apart from the massive amounts of snow? Let's get into it. Number 1, snowfall. This is probably the most obvious, as most states get an incredible amount of snow compared to UK. Growing up in Pennsylvania, the average snowfall was around 30 to 40 inches. I mean, I don't think there was a year that we didn't have a white Christmas. So you can imagine my shock moving here and not even having a flurry on Christmas Day. Now, it's hard to get an accurate average of the snowfall in the US because the states are so vastly different. You have places like Vermont that gets over like 90 inches, which is insane. And then there's Arizona that usually gets about an inch. So winters will obviously be different depending on where you are in the United States. Here in the UK, the further north you go, the chances of seeing snow are greater. There's usually about 23 days of snowfall per year, although I couldn't seem to find like a current average snowfall for the year. So I'm not really sure what it is, to be honest. But I do have my fingers crossed for this year. It's going to be a white Christmas, although it's really sunny outside these past few days, but let's all hope. Just a flurry. Number 2, sledding or sledging. This one goes hand in hand with the first one, as you need snow to do it. But I've always called it sledding or sleigh riding, but here in the UK, it's called sledging. In the US, as kids, we would get our sleds, find the biggest hill around, and play on it all day long until our parents eventually called us in at night. By the end of the day, everything usually would turn to ice, so you'd literally be like flying down the hill. It was absolutely brilliant. It was so much fun. Like all the kids in town would be out. Now, I know you guys have had some great storms here, like many years ago, but have any of you ever experienced it and would be willing to let me know in the comments? Because I'd love to hear about it. Where I'm in the south of England, we haven't really had anything, to be honest. We've had like a few inches, I think, since I've moved here, but nothing like substantial that actually sticks. Usually it kind of just melts away quite quick. Although a couple of years ago, we did get enough to build snowmen and have snowball fights.
It's true.
Which was excellent. The girls enjoyed chucking snow at us. Number 3, daylight. This difference actually hurts my soul a little bit. In the US, during the winter months, you get an average of 10 hours of daylight per day. Whereas here in the UK, the average is 8 hours, which I know 2 hours doesn't seem like that much of a massive amount, but I think it makes the world of difference. You wake up in the morning and it's dark. You get home at night, it's dark. I don't know about you, but I would love to live somewhere with like hot, long summer days all year long. That would just be amazing. Number 4, the temperature. As you can imagine, the temperature is much milder in the UK compared to the US. So in places like Alaska, it can be around 2 degrees Fahrenheit or like minus 16 Celsius.
Very cool.
Or the opposite of that is Hawaii, where it's like 67 degrees Fahrenheit and 19 degrees Celsius. But on average, the national is around like 33 degrees Fahrenheit or 1 degree Celsius, which is cold. It's like going out to your car in the morning and your doors are actually frozen shut. You can't open them. That's why so many Americans, myself included when I lived there, had those self-starters so you could literally just let your car run for 5 to 10 minutes before you had to leave. Otherwise, you'd be sat in the freezing cold just waiting. Whereas here in the UK, the temperatures average between 32 degrees to 45 degrees and 0 to 7 degrees Celsius. So yeah, it gets cold, but not nearly as bad as some of the states. However, after saying all of that, you do get acclimated to your surroundings and temperatures because when I first moved here, I thought the winters were relatively warm in comparison to PA, but now I think they're incredibly chilly. So I can't even imagine the next time I visit home in the winter, I'll probably stay inside and like never leave the house. It'll be absolutely freezing. Number 5, winter wear. Now, this isn't going to come as a surprise as the US is colder and gets more snow than the UK, but the clothes people wear throughout winter can be vastly different. And I know I mentioned it earlier that each state varies in climate, so I'll just compare Pennsylvania to living in England. So growing up, you could never make it through the winter months without wearing layers. Hats, gloves, scarves, coats, snowsuits, snow boots. Honestly, sometimes even that wasn't enough. You would have to get those little heat packs that you could put in your gloves or your shoes to keep you warmer. Since moving here, obviously people do wear them as well, but not nearly as much. Probably because you won't freeze to death if you forget your hat and scarf. At least where I'm living in southern England, I know it gets colder the further up north you go, so I'm not speaking for everywhere in the UK. I'm just comparing where I live now to where I lived then. But overall, which winter do I like best? It's a tough one because I love the snow, but only for short periods of time, if that makes sense, because it's horrible to drive in the snow, to do anything. But it's nice when you don't have anywhere to go and you can just go out and play in it. Because I do prefer the temperatures here. So that's not really an answer, is it?
No.
I like winter in both places, but if I had to choose, it would probably be here, just because the temperatures are much milder. Yeah. But let me know, what is your favorite thing about winter, or what do you absolutely hate about it? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, smash that like button if that's what you're into, and I'll see you in the next video.